Hi, Dr. Yass here. In this video, I want to talk about a particular muscle which is so insignificant that the average person doesn't even recognize it exists. And whether you're talking about the fitness area or the medical area, most people don't recognize the significance that this muscle plays in terms of achieving optimal function and limitation of pain. And I'm talking about pain from the lower back to the hip region, knee region, ankle, foot. This one particular tiny little muscle can affect pain and the ability to prevent pain in all of those areas. So I just want to briefly describe it and describe its location and understand how to strengthen it. And then hopefully you can take that with you and recognize that if you're looking to prevent pain, this is a critical muscle to strengthen. And if you have pain, it might be a key muscle necessary to resolve the cause of the pain. And the muscle I'm referring to is the posterior tibialis muscle. I'll say it again, the posterior tibialis muscle. Not exactly a highlight muscle in the weightlifting world. The posterior tibialis muscle runs along the inner aspect of the lower leg bone, the tibia. It's on the inside of your shin, and it runs down almost the entire length of the lower leg, wraps behind the inner ankle bone, then runs under the foot, under the arch, connects to some of the ankle bones under the foot. So if you could imagine that one side is the side that's attached to the inner aspect of the lower leg bone, the tibia, and the opposite side is the attachment to the ankle bones that sit under the foot, you could imagine that you're creating almost a hook-like presentation. And therefore, the muscle, as it contracts, basically supports the arch and pulls the inner aspect of the foot up, thereby supporting the inner aspect of the foot and arch. So for all the people who have been told, oh, you have flat arches, you need orthotics, what you're doing when purchasing an orthotic is using an external appliance to do the work of an internal muscle, which is the posterior tibialis muscle, thereby decreasing its need to function, replacing it, in effect, with the orthotic, thereby allowing it to weaken and lose the ability to support the arch, basically making you dependent on the orthotic. Not a very good long-term solution to a lost arch. For those people who have complained of bunions and have had multiple bunionectomies and continue to see growth of bone at that first ball of the foot, the reason is because your posterior tibialis muscle, along with a couple of other muscles, have weakened, strained, and as a result, you've lost your arch. And most people see that position where you actually pronate your foot, where the inside of the foot is kind of flattening and the outside of the foot is kind of rising. So you're weight bearing on the inside of the foot. Well, you were designed to have 5 balls of the feet to absorb the weight of your body as you're putting your weight through your foot. And if you only have all your weight on one ball of the foot, the first ball of the foot, well, that surface area is too small. The body's going to recognize there's potential for fracturing of the bone, and therefore it's going to develop hypertrophic bone growth, which is exactly what a bunion is. So if you want to stop the process of getting bunions, simply strengthen the posterior tibialis muscle. It will support the arch. It'll support the inner foot. It'll stop you from weight bearing on the inside of the foot, pull the inside of the foot up, thereby allowing your foot to be flat, causing you to weight bear through all 5 balls of the feet, right? Good concept. It's most of these things you're going to find that you're being told are structural in nature, like a bunion is actually a reactionary response to an altered force deficit, which comes from weakness or imbalance in more than 98% of cases of pain, which I've proven over 30 years. So then you could have the person who has the pain at the inner knee, and you're going to be told it's a torn meniscus. The higher probability is that you're straining your medial hamstring, the muscle that supports the inner knee. The reason that's happening, again, if you have a weak posterior tibialis muscle, the arch collapses. You weight bear towards the inside of the foot. That's going to prevent you from weight bearing through the midline of the knee. You're going to weight bear on the inside of the knee. It's going to cause excessive force through just an aspect of the knee, the inner knee, not the entire surface area of the knee. And therefore, the muscles that support the inner knee are going to have to absorb a force they weren't designed to, and therefore they strain. The medial hamstring strains. That's what causes, in most cases, pain at the inner knee. We could talk about pain at the butt, the groin, any of that type of thing. Same situation. If you're not weight bearing through the midline of the foot, you're weight bearing on the inside of the foot, you're altering how you're weight bearing through your hip, through your thigh. And that's going to cause muscles in different areas to have to work greater than they should, leading to pain in those areas. Same thing for the lower back. So I just described places from the lower back to the foot in which weakness of the posterior tibialis muscle can have a direct effect on. Therefore, I would suggest, as a precautionary measure, if you don't have pain, please strengthen your posterior tibialis muscle. If you're having pain in any of these areas, I would strongly suggest that strengthening of the posterior tibialis muscle is probably a factor in resolving that symptom, that pain. To strengthen the posterior tibialis, well, it's kind of straightforward thing. You're just doing an exercise called inversion. It's presented in, I believe, 2 of my books. If you have interest in understanding how to perform it, you can contact me. If you want to do a Zoom session, we can go through all that kind of stuff. So that's the point of this video, is to make it clear that this tiny little muscle has a massive impact on your capacity to weight bear properly through your lower body, your back, all the way down to your foot, and therefore has an effect on function and the capacity to develop pain. So if this video was helpful to you, makes sense, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my YouTube channel, Dr. Mitchell Yass, please subscribe and click on the bell icon to get notifications when new videos are added or when I'm live on YouTube. If you'd like to contact me by email, you could do so at drmitch@mitchellyass.com. If you'd like to make a Yass Method session, you could do so by going to the website, www.livewithoutpains, it's plural, livewithoutpains.com. You have the opportunity to schedule either an in-person session or Zoom session and do it for the day and a time that's most appropriate for you. All right, for now, this is Dr. Mitchell Yass wishing you a pain-free, fully functional life. Bye-bye for now.